20 years ago I was a backpacker travelling around Southeast Asia, and numerous times I would have stayed in villages, and people are inevitably very generous with their hospitality and very friendly and welcoming, and those memories stay with you. I mean, the values of the people and the generosity of spirit. And then as you grow up a little and you have control over certain things in your life, it's time to give some back. I've been thinking about doing something a bit like Footprints for a while. I had always been too busy growing the business, and then I think it was about a year later the tsunami happened, and I sort of rolled out of bed one morning. I was horrified. You'd seen 250,000 people wiped out from the tsunami. So what can we do? My name's Simon Monk. I'm from World Nomads. We actually created the Footprints Network about 5 years ago. It is a micro donations philanthropy project that all runs online, and one of the projects is here in the Amazon.
My name is Bruce Puntip, and I'm the founder of Gap Adventures, who this year turned 20 years old, and originally started with our first tours right here in the Amazon with Delphine and his community here. So this is a full circle trip for me, returning back to visit his family with World Nomads and Footprints. So we're quite excited about it.
Today Bruce and I are visiting the Felipe Serrano Moscoso Community School, and we're here to speak with the teachers and to find out how the tourism dollars raised have affected their school and their community.
We are approaching the school that has been funded by all of the travelers that we've brought here over the last 20 years. Where previously they didn't really have an education system, and they started building schools with the money that they've earned from the tourism dollars. So this school is very close to our heart at Gap Adventures. We kind of, we have volunteers, some of our CEOs in the field and stuff come and volunteer here to help them out, and it's just, yeah, it's one of those projects that have kind of come naturally from all of our travelers over the years. Hola!
Hola.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you again. How are you? Ah, buenos días. Hola, hola. Hola.
¿Qué tal?
Good to see you.
¿Cómo está? Buenas
So Delphine started our groups over 20 years ago. When we first started, our first groups were actually a program that we still run today, which is the Inland Amazon Tour that visited his village. So he has had flawless execution in all these years, taking groups every month, and it's been. And that's part of the reason, with our 20th anniversary coming up, one of the reasons we're down here again to visit Delphine and thank him for all his hard work over the years. But you can see as well with all the construction, all the work that's being done, that it's been also good for the community as well, bringing the tourism into the area. So it's been great.
The parents of the children here and in the School of Kando, we want to say to you guys very much thank you for all the help we have received. We know this is just a small thing today we are doing here, but through the years all this help is enormous. We really cannot tell how much you guys have helped us, and keep on doing this because we want you to have this message into your hearts. We are with you, we appreciate all what you do. Don't forget us. We know we live in a remote place in the jungle of Ecuador, but we always remember you. Remember your help. Thank you very much for all that you're doing.
So we've become successful all over the world, and we're able to give back to many communities, but it all started here. And I just feel very fortunate that 20 years ago I came to Tena. We met Delphine, and we were able to start something, a company that has since grown to be very special, and it means a lot to a lot of people around the world. And you guys for the last 20 years have done an outstanding job of using that support from us and using the money driven from all of the travelers that have come here and created good things here as well in the community. And all of your hard work has made us, Gap Adventures, the greater global family. It's made us what we are. Thank you.
It's certainly true that when you actually come here, it makes you quite humble. We're just normal people doing our thing, but the difference it can make when you actually give back, it's quite humbling, extremely humbling. And Delphin's speech actually managed to encapsulate in the local language all of the philosophies and beliefs that I would actually want to say about. We're all people. Regardless of where we are on the planet, we're all just trying to live our lives, and we're all connected to each other. And that's perhaps the biggest, most important reason why we give back. That's the feeling.
They needed a kitchen to make meals for the kids and all of the workers in the area. So if you come over here, walk this way. One of the investments that they needed was a stove. I remember the donation came for the stove, and it's kind of a paper you sign back home in the office. But something so simple as this little stove has made everything easier for the women as well as the community. It's increased the quality of their food, and you can see that people come from all over from different villages to get their meals here. And prior to this, it was a wood-burning stove, or they actually just would have to walk long distances to go home for their meals. So this stove at the school, it's attached to the school here, was donated, and it's made a huge impact on the community here. What's great is that they're committed to education, coming 20 years from not even thinking that it was even a thought to even read and write, to a point where it's actually given the community power, and it's given them the ability to take control of their destiny, and some have gone to university even, and so they've managed to now fight for their area, fight for their region, and but for them it's all about maintaining their culture, maintaining their people, because they also hear stories of a lot of other villages all over in other parts of the rainforest, the communities that are dying off or disappearing because they can't support themselves and sustain themselves. So they're very proud that they're able to not only take care of their community, but other
and that's where both education and tourism combine.
Yeah.
Because with the combination of the two, you can actually bring travellers through, which provides an economic sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's always just giving them the opportunity. You can only create opportunities, right? I couldn't personally educate everyone here. We created jobs and opportunity for people to better their life. But there's so much more community work here and happiness being created here, spreading it around the communities and supplying education and meals. That's what it's all about, right? That's why we're here. We are making the final ascent to Delphine's home and his home and village. So we just walked up the stairs there. Delphine's right here. Check out his hat, Delphine. His cool hat, keeping him cool in the shade there.
Sí, sombrero natural. Sí.
I think you don't need translation for that. Going on a walk with Delphine through the forest. It was amazing to see his knowledge of the forest and the medicinal use of the plants in the forest. He's very proud of his knowledge and passing that knowledge on to us as visitors, but also to his children, about how they use the forest to survive. Nothing is wasted in the forest. Everything is used, and everything has a purpose. It started with us trying the Novocaine, the natural Novocaine that froze our mouths, which was amazing actually, how it really did explode in your mouth and froze your tongue.
This is bush anesthetic.
So they can keep walking.
It's all part of a natural cycle for Delphine and his community, how they believe life has come out of the forest, and they respect the forest and they live in the forest, and the forest takes care of them. and their knowledge of the use of all of the plants in the forest is really important for their survival, and passing that information down to his children. Every plant has a purpose to Delphine. Delphine constantly mentions Pachamama, which is Mother Earth. Every few minutes in his conversations he talks about Pachamama and Mother Earth, and how his respect of the land and his knowledge of the land is what keeps his family alive, and that's where they come from, and it's all about respecting the earth. And as we continued on along the walk, I mean, the main goal at the end of the walk was this spectacular view. It was just that, you looked over the land, it was so majestic, seeing the convergence of the rivers. What you never notice until you're there live is the various shades of green that make up a rainforest. It's so vibrant and so beautiful. Delphine was mentioning how companies from all over the world are paying thousands of dollars for this special clay that exists underneath the soil, that these beauty companies in Europe, in France and Italy are coming down and paying thousands of dollars for this clay to take back to spas, to put into various beauty products, but also in live spas for people to have day treatment on their faces. So for us to be able to get it firsthand from Delphine, to show us exactly the little area in which they have their own personal spa here. So whenever I come here, it's always very important to Delphine to offer a spiritual cleansing. From the moment I arrive, Delphine is always, and it's not an examination, but he's always worried about different aspects. It's different every time actually that I come here. But with all of our travelers, like when we did the painting on our faces, he looks at each one of us and he paints a symbol in which he thinks that's suited for us and suitable for from what he's feeling that we need or that we're about. And the spiritual cleansing is another one of those things that he wants to make sure that he takes us down to the river and cleanses our spirit. So he spends the afternoon gathering 3 different types of leaves that are around in the forest by putting these leaves together. One of them actually is a very strong smell, because one of them is which he calls jungle garlic, and it actually has a garlicky kind of smell, so it's actually very strong. And the other ones are more of a flowery smell. And he puts them all together in a basket and mixes them up, and he pounds them and mashes them into a paste almost. But it's and he spends the whole afternoon kind of pounding this stuff to get it ready for the cleansing. And as I said, it's a very important thing for Delphine to offer people to introduce them to the rainforest and have their spirits introduced to the rainforest. So he spreads the stuff all over you, and he's got a special rock. It's very soft. It's somewhat of a massage as well. Very therapeutic, and he wants you to close your eyes, and it's a very intense experience for Delphine. He often stares into the sky, asking the gods to accept you and to introduce you to his gods and spirits. And then we cleansed by jumping into the pond, jumping into the river, and cleansing and washing it all away. After that cleansing, everyone commented about being so energized and feeling so renewed. So it was just a great day. I mean, all of it was just spectacular and phenomenal, and just being with Delphine and showing us his ways in the forest was for us just something that you'll always remember and you'll never forget.
You get to see the lights on of the desayuno. Por favor.
So about 50 kilometres upstream here, upriver, there's a mining company that mines gold, and one of the ways of separating the gold is using mercury, and one of the cheap ways of dealing with that is just to let the mercury wash into the river, which is why the rivers end up polluted. And of course mercury won't just make you sick, mercury will kill you. It'll have generational effects. How do you change behaviour? You don't necessarily stop the mining, but there are ways of doing it that don't involve mercury. Perhaps they're more expensive. So I wonder how we can actually influence that company to behave more environmentally sustainable. This is the village of New Jerusalem, where we're building a new school building, and we've just arrived. And you can see behind me, the local people here are moving all of the stones by hand, obviously, to build, I think, the foundations of the new school building that we're constructing. Should go and have a look. So what we've got the school buildings are behind me here. I think there's 3 school buildings for a community of over 100 children from memory. And across all the age ranges up to, from kindy all the way up to I think age 12. And the teachers find it really difficult because they're trying to teach different grades in the same classrooms. So one of our projects is to go and build a new school, classroom at the back so they can segregate off some of the kindy students. That's the job at hand. So behind me you can see the school building that's being built, and they're constructing the foundations at the moment. It's going to be a 2-storey building. And this is funded by the Footprints Network. Now, how this was funded, this building costs $5,000, $5,005. And to raise that $5,005, the Footprints Network takes a number of travel companies and the customers of the travel companies who are buying something online. And we took about 3,000 individuals who chose to donate to that particular project. Thank you very much. And when they buy something online, they add a small donation, $1, $2 probably, and it takes probably 3 or 4 months to raise the $5,000. The money just keeps trickling in day and day out as transactions happen online. But it's a guaranteed way of actually raising the money, project specific. And today we're here to actually explore. It isn't about the money, and it's not even about the school buildings. It's actually about the outcomes for the community of having this building. During a break from construction, teacher Ortiz told me about what the new classroom would mean for the school.
La nueva escuelita que nos están dando es de mucho interés, mucho favor para nosotros, porque es la primera aula escolar que nos ayudan gente como ustedes del extranjero, porque tenemos un amigo más que atenderles a ustedes también. En enseñar mejor por niveles, porque en esta aulita nomás, y como solo tenemos uno, no nos alcanza. Son bastantes niños y somos 4 educadores, necesitamos más aulas para poder enseñar bien, porque tiene que ser la calidad, como ahora la educación de calidad, enseñar bien a los niños.
Eso, papá.
This is the foundation of the school building that's being constructed today. They've got the walls up already over the last few days. And the local people, you can see, they haven't got an easy job of it. They've still got to shift all of these rocks by hand themselves. We've got women here who are from the community hauling sacks of stones that must weigh 30 kilos. I'm not sure I can lift them. It's hot, tiring work. But obviously they're motivated to do so. The Footprints provides the funds to actually construct the school, but the community is engaged in constructing the right outcome for their children. It is their children who are going to be in the school and get educated. I spoke to the school principal about the importance of education in this region and how it impacts the community. The parents of your school are obviously engaged in this project. Do they actually understand the value of education for their children?
Sí, aquí estamos unánimemente todos los padres de familia, niños, personal docente, todos estamos juntos, unidos. Esto representa para nosotros una educación de calidad, porque eso es lo primordial, la educación, porque nuestros niños son el presente y el futuro de la comunidad de aquí. los padres esperan para el futuro es la buena educación, para que algún rato estos pequeños que ahorita estamos viendo, algún rato ellos tengan una profesión, no se queden así como los papacitos que cargan, que trabajan, sino que ellos quieran que esté así como nosotros en una aula enseñando a otros niños.
It is really unpleasant, but
Amigos, amigas que nos están visitando en esta vez, les agradezco un mundo a ustedes por esta ayuda que nos están dando a la educación. Aquí nuestra comunidad Nueva Jerusalén ha sido una comunidad pobre. No ha tenido recursos económicos para dar comprando cuadernitos a los niños. Más aún, a tener una escuelita de 4 paredes como estamos trabajando.
It's an honor to be here. When I was a young boy, I was lucky enough to go to a very nice school, but as I've travelled around the world, I see education as being one of the key drivers, the key means of improving, and that is really why we get involved, and education is so important to us. So thank you. We hope you enjoy your new classroom.
y les deseo que
Adiós.
Adios.
Chao. Gracias.
So here we are, we're done. The school's underway. Obviously in some months it'll be finished. Normally Bruce and I actually sat in the office, different parts of the world, and you come out to these places and it brings everything so raw and so fresh, and put your own life really in perspective. And the opportunities, the one thing that strikes me, your education here ends age 12. The parents earn $200 a year. To educate a kid through high school is going to cost them more than they earn. It's just not possible. And that lack of opportunity, regardless of how bright you are, strikes me every time I come to these places.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a full circle trip. As getting a chance to visit Delphine and seeing the impact of our partnership over the last 20 years, and then being able to partner with you guys and expand that relationship and expand the family, expand the giving. And as you can see by the community here, they're very thankful for Delphine. And it's really because of all of our travelers that have taken all of these trips over the years that have kind of funded this dream where, previous to this, there wasn't even a thought of education. And now, to know that they have kids going into university. We've heard of stories of one child going to Russia on a scholarship. I mean, that's extraordinary stuff. But you're right. I mean, we sit in our offices, and we get so busy in our company and what we do every day. It's just amazing when we can get out in the field and just see it firsthand. Besides being raw, it's just so real. Just seeing people's lives, it's changed, and the impact that our businesses have. I mean, it's just it's rewarding. I mean, it's what it's all about. Till next time, thanks for coming out.